So welcome to a Travel Kinship webinar. I'm Kelly Tolliday. I'm the Managing Director of Travel Kinship. We're a global sales and representation company. When we represent some of the world's most unique and boutique DMCs around the world. And really we place a lot of emphasis on being able to showcase a destination in its truest nature, in its most authentic way, while still giving clients such a beautiful, seamless luxury experience. And that's what I really love. I really love having conversations with Aditi from Anecdotes, because she represents a country that I love so, so much. And they operate across India in such a beautiful way, showcasing so many different types of travel, which we're going to get into today. We're calling it the new era of experiential travel, and the way that Anecdotes delivers and creates not just itineraries, but truly lifelong memories and stories that your clients will tell for the rest of their lives, is truly based on such an interest-led approach. And because India is so vast and so wide, there is an interest and a type of activity for everyone. So we're going to discuss today about the different types of travel and really the experiences that are available, and kind of the new trends that are popping up through India, while also covering Anecdotes, really timeless, signature, iconic itineraries through Rajasthan and Central India. So for those that are interested in learning more about Travel Kinship and some of the DMCs that we represent, feel free to go to our website, travelkinship.com. You can email me, kelly@travelkinship.com. And for now, I will let Aditi take the floor and share more about her beautiful country of India.
Thank you very, very much, and a very good morning and a very good afternoon to everybody. It's really a pleasure to have all of you here and for us to connect digitally at first sight. I hope to be connecting in person very soon and welcoming you to our beautiful country of India. Over the next few minutes, I would love to present, as Becky had mentioned, a little bit about Anecdotes and what inspires what we do and how we perceive this majestic Indian subcontinent that we live in, as well as share with you some of the various experiences going fairly deep into the region of Rajasthan and Central India, which is the West and the Central India, to share some ideas of experiences, itineraries, and some of the trends that we see unfolding for the forthcoming season. So I will just begin through the presentation at any point in time. Kelly, I'll leave it to you. If you'd like me to stop and share anything, please do let me know.
Yeah,
So,
I'll just jump in really quick, Aditi. For anyone that has questions, put it in the questions box. The chat box doesn't work. So there's a little questions icon. Pop your questions in there, and we'll make sure to answer either during the presentation or definitely at the end. We're leaving room for that. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. All right. So, just to give you a little overview of what we'll be discussing today, would love to start a little bit by sharing our story of Anecdotes, what inspires what we do, and what we believe to be our differentiation, and then getting into encompassing a little bit about what this, like I said, majestic country of India is, as we then go deeper into one region for today's presentation, which is Rajasthan and Central India. And then we'll end with a little bit of the trends and information about Anecdotes and how we hope to partner with all of you in the future. So to introduce Anecdotes, Anecdotes is a Indian DMC across the Indian subcontinent. We are destination specialists. I like to call us, as I say, leisure designers, because we truly believe in the purpose of designing unique experiences for every client, covering genres from culture, wildlife, adventure, textiles, and more. We have a fantastic team of operationals and management team that has over a century of experience across different aspects of India. And that sort of really gives us our foothold and our expertise on the region. I'd love to share with you a little bit about what inspired the name of Anecdotes as well. But before we get into that, just to share with you a little bit about what we have done and what our legacy holds. We have had the fortunate pleasure through our parent company to have worked in the travel and hospitality business for over 20 years. In the course of our time as a specialist and as a DMC for the Indian subcontinent, we have designed over close to 150 plus various curated tours across the Indian subcontinent. A lot of these have been signature experiences, some of which I will share with you in the forthcoming slides. And we've been fortunate in our endeavors to now partner with and hold contracts and relationships with over 50 plus different hotel and hospitality partners, from boutique to luxury hotels in India. We truly do specialize in the idea of storytelling and bringing in various experts as we unfold the aspect of the Indian culture. And as a part of the Anecdotes family, we're fortunate to have over 15 plus different kinds of master storytellers in the 26 plus regions that we actually serve across India. Before I jump into the DNA and what we really believe in every itinerary and every program that we curate, I'll just share a little anecdote about what inspired the name of Anecdotes. As Kelly mentioned, our entire purpose and vision, or our reason for existence, as I call it, truly is to be able to create memories for your guests and our guests once they come into India to explore this beautiful country. And what we always say is, what we do is essentially the memory that they will take back and share with their friends, with their neighbors, with their children, grandchildren, and those photographs that they possibly put on their wall or their screensavers today. So, to be able to create those different moments through their travels in India, that really is the purpose with which we have been born and what we try and uphold every day. That is what inspired the name of Anecdotes and what we carry forward in every itinerary we look at. We really believe in the idea of experiential travel, of very conscious formats of travel. We believe in the concept of leisure learning, where people walk away with a lot more than when they came to the country. They learn a lot more of the different facets. And as I always say, we perceive ourselves to be culture custodians. It is our role and it is our purpose to be able to unfold the different aspects of culture, whether it's from wildlife to culinary to history to heritage, to ensure that every part of a client's day whilst they're in India gives them some insight into what the history of our country has been and into what the future can possibly be as well. So, give a very transparent and a very real experience of India through this entire experience. What we truly believe to be the Anecdotes difference, as I mentioned, being a DMC, we of course work very extensively with, unfortunately, with a lot of partners across the world. We have been fortunate to have a series of various interesting storytellers, from photographers to historians to Harvard professors to chefs, to photographers that have led a lot of our experience, have been the primary storytellers for a lot of our groups. And in our endeavors of creating these various itineraries, we've been fortunate to work with a series of the luxury hotels to the boutique hotels in India, be it the Ananda, be it boutique hotels like the Ravnandalai, or be it some of the chains like the Leelas and the Oberois that are present across the length and breadth of the country. But more than the hotels as well and the storytellers, what we really perceive to be our difference and strive for every day is to make sure that in every destination, whether it's a Delhi or whether it's a Bombay or a Goa or a Varanasi or a Jaipur, there is that unique activity or that unique experience today that is just waiting to be discovered. So, cycling through Jaipur, doing a Bollywood class in Delhi, visiting a distillery in Goa, these are just some of the small examples that we try and bring to the forefront every time we get a request for any client, and try and sort of customize this very much to what the interest of the particular guest would be. Just to give you a little bit about India, as a DMC, we of course work with India and the Indian subcontinent, so touching upon Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and Nepal as well. The map that you see in front of you would give you an overview of where India lies, and as we say, it often is considered to be the heart of the Indian subcontinent and of Asia. And I think the aspects what really make us unique and what is very interesting, which today, as every day we discover something new about our country, and I find that fascinating as well. But just to give you some interesting facts and anecdotes about India, India has one of the largest concentrations of the tigers in the world. It's reputed to hold approximately 75% plus of the tiger population. So rest assured, if someone's looking for a memorable safari experience, I think India could very well be the next destination. We are, of course, the home for Bollywood. I hope everyone has seen a Bollywood film. If not, please message me after this, and I'd love to send some recommendations across for you. But we are home to Bollywood, which is one of the largest and the most versatile film producing countries in the world. And a few other interesting facts: we have one of the highest cricket grounds, which is considered to be in the world at the highest altitude. And we're also as diverse in terms of our languages as we are in terms of every other facet that you would see, because we're reputed to have over 22 plus official languages that are spoken, and many more hundred dialects that are spoken. This is just to give you an idea of how much diversity the country holds in itself. What all of this really gives to us as sort of, like I said, culture custodians or as partners in tourism, is that it really is something for everybody in India. So whether one is looking for a musical journey, whether one is looking for a river cruise, a luxury train, a wellness experience, adventure, or wildlife, India today is fortunate to be able to offer this experience, customized, curated for any kind of traveler that's looking to come to the country. What you would see in front of you today is our version of India, which is the Anecdotes India. All these different sort of arrows and tables that you will see in front of you are actual experiences that have been curated and have been operated, and we have been fortunate to serve various clients through these different experiences from the length and breadth of the country. So, whether we're looking at the north of India, which is Ladakh and the Himalayas, going into the east, which is what we call the Seven Sisters and northeast of India, right down to the south, which is the home of very well known states like Kerala or Tamil Nadu, or we go into the west, which is home to the forts and palaces of Rajasthan and the central India of Madhya Pradesh, a lot of which we'll be talking about today. Just to give you a sort of more, deeper view, whether it's a Dev Dipavali special festival experience in Varanasi, whether it's about a trekking in eastern Arunachal, or a Hornbill festival, a tribal festival in Nagaland. These are some of the experiences that one can actually look at towards the north and the northeast of India. If we come to the central and the west part of India, you have some of the most ancient civilizations dating back to the time of Ashoka, which can be unfolded in Madhya Pradesh. You have textiles and what we call the salt plains of India in Gujarat. And then, of course, you have the palaces of Rajasthan as well as the wildlife. And then in the south of India, we have the wellness experiences, we have the backwaters of Kerala, and we have the beautiful temples and some of the textile trails of Tamil Nadu that, of course, are waiting to be unfolded. So, as I shared, there is something for everybody in India. Festival specials that Anecdotes has offered and continues to offer as fixed group experiences as well as customized experiences. The celebration of Diwali in India, the celebration of Holi in India, which is celebrated in each state very differently, tribal festivals and dance festivals like the Hornbill and the Khajuraho festival, and the beautiful Durga Puja in the erstwhile British capital, which is in Calcutta, which is celebrated today with a lot of excitement and a lot of glory. From performing arts to culinary, textile trails, culinary and food trails, discovering the art of paintings and actually interacting with some of the master artisans, looking at handicrafts and various other formats of textiles and pottery in Gujarat. All of these are very special interest tours that can be designed through the length and breadth of the country. And then we come to the wildlife and the adventure, from rafting to trekking to some of the most splendid and luxurious wildlife safaris today. These are all hosted in different parts of the country and are available and accessible to everybody. And then we have, of course, something that India is very synonymous with, which is the idea of wellness or well being, as we like to call it today. So, from yoga to Ayurveda to now a newer format emerging of slower travel through river cruises, some new exciting products, of course, that are coming across in different parts of the country. So today's session, we wanted to go a little deeper into one particular region or area of India, which is essentially what we call Rajasthan, which is towards the northwest, and central India, which touches upon parts of Madhya Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. The reason why we take this region together is because it is something that anybody that's visiting, possibly maybe even for the first and the second time, would most likely like to visit. It's very rich in culture, it's very rich in luxury, it has a very quintessential position in Indian history. But more than that, it actually offers something even for the fifth or the sixth or the 10th time traveler, because each of these regions today offer experiences that can be dissected in different ways and offer you a new program. So whether it's somebody wanting to come back to go deeper into textiles, or somebody wanting to come to go into some of the most unique safaris, or someone wanting to look at possibly come and do a culinary tour, all of these special interest programs can also find a place in these different regions of India. So, as you would see, again, a little bit of a map to encapsulate the sort of magnanimity of India. We'll be focusing, like I said today, a little bit more on the northwestern and the central part of India. This is a zoomed in sort of analysis to give you what we are, I think, fairly well known across the world is what we call the Golden Triangle, but what I personally like to call the Heritage Triangle of India, which is essentially the central part, which is Delhi, the capital of the country. Then we go into Uttar Pradesh, which is Agra, which has the Taj Mahal, one of the wonders of the world. And then we have Jaipur, which is again one of the most sort of pivotal cities in Rajasthan and very well known, and forms sort of the third part of the Golden Triangle. And as we look deeper, this is just to give you an idea of what Rajasthan hosts. So you have the wildlife in Ranthambore, you have the leopard sanctuaries in Javai, you have the forts and palaces in Jodhpur and Jaipur. You have smaller rural offbeat towns that are emerging with some of the most fabulous boutique hotels and offbeat forts and palaces today. And then you have the city of lakes, of course, which is in Udaipur. And all of this together constitutes the region of Rajasthan, which, as you will see on the map, lies towards the northwest of India. And if we have a brief glimpse of the central part of India, which is what we call the state of Madhya Pradesh and close to Rajasthan, then we have various other exciting cities like Gwalior, again known for its majestic history. We have the wildlife parks, which is Madhya Pradesh has one of the highest density of wildlife parks, so some of which are Kanha, Bandhavgarh, Panna. And then you have the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Khajuraho, which is very fast becoming one of the most interesting cities and upcoming cities in India as well. So, just to maybe walk through a few itineraries and landmark experiences, I think first to begin with what your guests can do when they're in Rajasthan and Central India. What are those unique experiences and activities and various excursions that one can just present to them that make each city experience different while they still enjoy the luxuries, of course, through the program? So one can begin the morning in Jaipur with a cycling tour today, which goes through the old markets and wakes up with the flower and vegetable markets in the morning, giving a very different twist and a very different perspective of what the city has and how it unfolds in the early hours of the morning. To celebrate the festivals in Rajasthan, whether it's Holi, whether it's Diwali, whether it's the Camel Festival. There's a series of festival days which can be used as pivotal dates in the calendar, and all the itineraries can be planned around that, offering something very unique for the clients to actually see firsthand. The arts and crafts of Rajasthan, again, a very, very popular feature, whether it's garments, whether it's pottery, whether it's weaving, a series of very interactive formats and very interactive experiences where everybody from a child to an elderly person today can actually take part in these workshops and learn these various art forms that are now pivotal in India. The flavors of Rajasthan, of course, in India, we believe that till you don't eat, you don't eat, and you don't eat, so you have to keep eating because it's never enough. So, various experiences today, whether it's unique picnic lunch settings, whether it's having a very curated Rajasthani dinner, or whether it's actually doing a cooking workshop with a chef to learn the delicacies of India. All of these are experiences that await in parts of Rajasthan and central India. And as we look further into parts of central India, you have the forts and palaces, you have some of the most historical trails today, and as you can see, very, very rustic and very real in their nature. And the sort of most iconic part of this region, which is the wildlife, whether it's the tiger or whether it's the other species, all of these await in the various national parks that are around central India and Rajasthan. We'll go into a few itineraries just to give you a flavor of what a journey and what an experience through Rajasthan could be. Of course, everything can be customized and curated. And as I mentioned, from the performing arts right through to culture or history, there's an itinerary for everybody. But just to give you an idea of a few examples, here we have what we call Rajasthan Romance, and something that can actually be curated around a special festival, which we have done for the forthcoming year. So, beginning in the capital of Delhi, we drive through to Agra and then visiting the world wonder of the Taj, doing a very interesting perfume making workshop, or having a very interesting cycle ride around the Taj Mahal to see it from a different perspective. We then move into Jaipur, where again there's a series of unique experiences. So you can stay in one of the most luxury hotels in Jaipur, be it the Rajvilas of the Oberoi, or be it the Rambagh Palace of the Taj, or some of the boutique hotels like the Ras or the Jori, which are very, very interesting properties that have come up in the heart of the city. And then we go into an offbeat area and an offbeat route, which is another boutique property called Ravrana Lai, which is between and around the area of Jodhpur and Udaipur, offering a very unique stay and a very unique experience. Right from dining in a stepwell to having a village or a community interaction, gives a client a very different perspective and a very different overview of what the history of India was. And then we go into the city of lakes, which is Udaipur, and then ending in Jodhpur. So this is an example of what we call a very romantic and a very royal route of Rajasthan. And what is very interesting is to maybe possibly consider doing this itinerary around a special festival. So one example that we have curated a program for in 2027 in January, and we have an actual group tour for this particular experience, is the Jaipur Literature Festival. It's a very famous festival now known world over, where there is a series of authors, poets, musicians, and some of the most, I would say, lauded orators around the world that come together for a period of a few days. And this festival is then hosted in Jaipur. Another interesting itinerary is going through the Havelis and the deserts and landscapes of Rajasthan. So going beyond just the Jaipur and Agra trail, going into Ranthambore to visit the tiger, going into Javai, which is a very, very rustic area now, to visit the leopard, and then ending the trail in Jaisalmer, which is a part of the desert land of India, offering experiences like camping under the stars, midnight dinners, camel rides, giving a very, very different perspective and a different side of the state, but again can be combined very beautifully and done in a very luxurious way. And another itinerary, which I will just give as a last example, is a combination where we go from Rajasthan into central India. This is how we can look at combining the region. So again, we look at cities maybe possibly like Delhi and Jaipur, and then we go into the heart of central India where we go deeper into Gwalior, into the UNESCO site of Khajuraho, which has now got some of the most luxury hotels that have been opening up. And then we go into the heart of central India, into the national parks like Panna, Kanha, Bandhavgarh, each offering a very luxury wildlife experience. So this itinerary gives you a perspective of combining the heritage and the royal palaces with an aspect or a genre of wildlife. Just to give you an idea of the beautiful hotels and the kind of stays that we have in Rajasthan and central India. So, if you look at it and we break it up as anecdotes, as I shared, we work a lot with some of the luxury chains right through to the boutique hotels. The boutique stays, we have brands like the Ras in Jaipur, which is in the heart of the city. We have a beautiful fort called the Ahilya Fort, which is in Madhya Pradesh. We have some very interesting heritage Havelis, which are maybe 8 rooms, 10 room properties that are located in Jaipur and other parts of Rajasthan as well. The idea of boutique for us at Anecdotes essentially is that these are properties that usually are not more than about 20, 25 rooms, tend to have a very personal touch in terms of the aesthetic, often have owners and the key sort of families that are very much still a part of the management. So it gives a very, very personal touch, and are usually located in very unique ways or have been restored in very unique ways that offer characters and offer a sort of aesthetic which is very, very unparalleled. And then we have the luxury stays, like the Oberoi's, the Ras. We have the Suryagarh, which is a boutique hotel again in Jaisalmer, and we have chains like the Raffles and the Leela and the Taj, all across the length and breadth of the country. So these are some of the very well-known hospitality and luxury hotels, and all of which Anecdotes is fairly fortunate to work with. Um, I'll go very briefly into the trends that we see in the current season of 26-27. Kelly, if you like me to stop, just let me know, please. But I can just sort of go through that to maybe touch upon some of the trends that we see unfolding in the forthcoming season. We've divided it up.
You're all good. You're all good. Go ahead.
All right. So we've divided it up into what I would say about four trends. One is, I think, traveling with a purpose. We've been seeing a lot of requests today from people around the world that want to travel with a very particular intent or a very particular purpose in mind. So whether it's culinary, whether it's discovering the history of India, whether it's learning how to even play cricket, or looking at musical festivals in the country, or whether it's having a personal interaction with a Bollywood star, or meeting one of the erstwhile Maharajas of India. There is now a very purposeful or intent behind travel, and we see that unfolding a lot, and we hope to see that increasing a lot, because that makes sure that we are always on our toes looking for the new thing to offer. The other facet, of course, which is a corollary to that, is that people are really seeking an experience. What's now is more important for us when we design our itineraries is not necessarily where one is staying and how one is getting there. That is something that, as an experienced DMC, of course, is a very, very important part, but it's a given. It's sort of the given part of an itinerary. But what is becoming very important is essentially, what is the customer going to do? How are they going to spend their day? What is that new feature they're going to learn? What is that exposure to culture they're going to have? And that is really what most of our itineraries and most of our time in designing the programs is focused upon. And then there are two trends which I will just briefly jump into, which is what we call the W trend in India. This is something that I personally see as the growing nature of a well-being trend in India, where a very particular facet of wellness. India has always been known as the land of yoga and Ayurveda, but we see that changing as well in today's day and age, because it's going well beyond these features and these activities. Well-being today is becoming about nature retreats. It's becoming about meditation and healing practices. It's becoming about spiritual tours, for example, to Varanasi or to Rishikesh or to Dharamshala. And all of these facets are coming to life today, and fortunately India has a lot of these experiences to offer, and we see a growing trend and a demand for this in the forthcoming season. And the other unique feature that we see coming up is that there is a surgence of very, very interesting and very unique properties and hotels that has been coming up in the country, right from wellness properties through to some of the international chains like the Raffles and the Fairmonts and the Six Senses, and into some of the Indian chains, going into the deeper parts of the country, like the Postcard Hotel, into the tea estates of Northeast India, or the Leela Hotel deep into the south in Coorg in India. And now, of course, the new Oberoi Hotel, which is opened up in Khajuraho, which is essentially surrounded completely by nature, is an old restored fort, but right next to a national park. And that's how it sort of comes at the crossroads of different genres of travel. So we see a lot of this growth of these various unique properties that are coming up in different parts of the country. I'll just end very briefly about what we believe to be the Anecdotes promise, and the partnership that we hope to have with all of you. Something that we commit to, and what we stand by. We focus a lot on the experiences and the cultural touch points in our itineraries. We do consider ourselves to be your advisors. We consider all our partnerships for a much longer term basis. not just a query or an inquiry. It's about the kind of relationship that we can build and learn from each and every one of you across the world. We have a very, I would personally say, and with a lot of gratitude, a very fantastic team which has decades of operational and product experience. And more than that, we have a very focused concierge and a very focused sort of hands-on approach to every partner that we work with. So you will have us on call virtually 24/7. Your clients, once they're in the country, for us, they are, your clients are our clients. So they will have us on a WhatsApp or on a call at any point in time. Should there be a requirement, you can rest assured have one of us actually being on a trip with the group if that is required. And an interesting feature that we've also launched this year is a series of group tours and fixed departures for certain pivotal festivals and experiences. As I mentioned earlier, the Jaipur Literature Festival, the Khajuraho Dance Festival, Dev Deepavali in India. So some itineraries that can actually just be offered to clients, even if it's just one or two people looking to come in, but makes it a very sort of economical and feasible option. So just to tell you how we do our designing, this is just a sample of how brochures are shared, and the kind of questions and the information we would seek from our partners. All of this is purely to be able to give a very transparent and a very customized program, entirely in line with what your clients may be looking for. Just a glimpse of our team. We are a part of the XO Private Luxury. We're registered with the ITO and the Ministry of Tourism in India, and the Tiger Reserve, top tigers as well in India. So a few credentials, I would say, that we have, and a fantastic team that you would see in front of you. And just how we make each itinerary unique. Even an itinerary in a destination like Ranthambore can be done very differently. You can begin your day with yoga. You can spend the day at a community or an NGO. You can go for a fantastic, luxurious safari in the afternoon, which is really the heart of what the Ranthambore National Park is. And you can end the day in a fabulous luxury resort, whether it's the Aman or whether it's a Sujan or whether it's the Oberoi, and have a bonfire dinner or a dinner under the stars. So the entire day can be curated from morning to evening with a lot of precision and detailing in every activity. A sample of some of the curated tours, as I mentioned, and some of the memories and some of the journeys we've been fortunate to have and host across the length and breadth of our country. Well, that's it. Thank you very, very much. We look forward to exploring India together. And Kelly, over to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Aditi. I got so much information from that and so much inspiration. So we just have a couple of comments here. For those that have any questions at all, even if it's outside of Rajasthan and Central India, which is what the itineraries were about. I know she mentioned, the country as a whole, as well as trends and types of travel. So feel free to pop any of your questions in the questions box. Remember, the chat doesn't work, so go to the little icon. So we have a couple questions asking if we can get the presentation after the webinar. And yes, you'll receive this no later than tomorrow. You'll get the video as well as the slides. So you'll have access to that. Dina, she just has a comment. She says she's very excited that she'll be in Udaipur in June for 2 days, staying at the Leela Palace. So I'm curious, Aditi, if you have 2 days in Udaipur, what would be the things that you would do from an experience perspective?
It's a tough one.
Only 2 days.
Yeah. Well, I would say Udaipur personally is one of my favorite cities, purely because it's one of the cities which has or is encapsulated by lakes. So as we call it, the city of lakes. So if I had 2 days in Udaipur, I would first and foremost focus really on enjoying the peace and serenity of being by the lake. And the Leela is a beautiful property. It has some of, very nice rooms that are overfacing the lakes. It has some beautiful villas. So definitely take some time out. That would be my first suggestion to do, because that really, the atmosphere really does offer that sense of calmness. But you do have some very interesting experiences around the city. You have a boat ride that can be done during sunset, which is quite magical and exciting. You, of course, have the city palace with all its grandeur and all the sort of artifacts and histories that is collected. And one of my personal favorite things to do in Udaipur is to actually take a vintage car ride. It's just something little different. It's not, it's just that sort of, you feel like you're transported into an erstwhile time and era. and you really are in one of the, there's no speed in the car, I can guarantee you that much, but you're definitely sitting in a very historic, vintage, rustic car and actually driving through the city. So it makes you feel like you're back, possibly in the 60s and 70s, and seeing the city through that perspective. So I personally like that as an experience. I think it's quite fun.
Okay, awesome. Amazing.